The origins of the traveler remain a mystery, but it has existed for billions of years. In a message to the Guardian through Sloane, Ahsa suggests that the traveler and the veil might have once been part of a single existence or shared a common origin. According to Ahsa, billions of years ago, the traveler lay dormant and partially buried on a desolate planet. It was discovered by a humanoid species, which awakened it, either on its own or through their actions. The traveler then began to terraform the planet, granting paracausal gifts to its discoverers, as it would later do with other species. This event marked the start of a golden age for this species. Lasting millions of years, they revered the traveler as a deity. Despite the prosperity it brought, the traveler never communicated or imparted wisdom or guidance. As a result, the society sought meaning and order in their existence. They viewed the light as a capricious and chaotic force, capable of bringing both life and death without justification. Eventually, the species discovered the existence of a counterpart entity to the traveler in a distant star system, known as the Veil. They identified the Veil as a source of power opposite to the light, linked to mind and consciousness rather than the physical world. They called it the Darkness. Through studying the darkness, they believed they could guide the universe into a perfected form. The civilization determined that bringing the traveler and the veil close together would strengthen their connection, granting them the ability to alter reality itself. They sought and retrieved the veil and intended to link it with the traveler on their homeworld. However, the traveler fled into space, unwilling to allow this outcome. Undeterred, the civilization used the darkness to bind their consciousnesses, merging into a single powerful entity called the Witness. Empowered by the darkness and commanding a fleet of pyramidal ships, the Witness began a crusade to find the traveler and unite it with the veil. Billions of years ago, the traveler visited the Lubraians and uplifted their civilization. However, after the traveler left, the Lubraian society descended into a military dictatorship confined to a single city, with dissidents living as nomads. Following Lubray, the traveler visited the gas giant Fundament and uplifted a species called the Ammonite on one of its moons. It then sought to uplift the primitive krill on a floating continent in Fundament's ocean. The Witness manipulated a young krill, Sathona, leading her and her sisters to the worm gods imprisoned within Fundament's core, transforming the krill into the hive. The traveler fled, leaving the Ammonite to be destroyed by the hive. The hive later encountered and defeated another civilization uplifted by the traveler, known as the Harmony. Before coming to the Sol system, the traveler visited Reese and uplifted the Elixni species. As with previous worlds, the Black Fleet, and possibly Oryx's hive, attacked Reese. The traveler fled, leaving the Elixni to suffer a catastrophic event known as the Whirlwind. According to the poem Dreams of Alpha Lupi, the traveler detected a face emerging from the sun and heard a roar described as a lucid melody. Feeling joy and hope, the traveler resolved to fight the darkness and chose to visit Earth for a reason. The traveler first appeared around Jupiter. Terraforming two of its moons, referred to as Moon X, it became the center of international attention. After completing its work on Jupiter, it terraformed Mercury and Venus. Cults worshipped it, and calls for unifying Earth's governments emerged. The traveler's arrival on Earth brought about a period of unprecedented unity and progress for humanity. Nations set aside their differences and worked together to build a new era of peace and prosperity. The traveler's gifts, known as light, were bestowed upon individuals who became known as guardians. These guardians possessed extraordinary abilities and were tasked with protecting humanity from the encroaching darkness. As the traveler continued its journey across the solar system, it encountered various threats and challenges. The darkness, in the form of the Veil and its agents, relentlessly pursued the traveler, seeking to bring about the final shape. The Witness, now a powerful entity, led the Veil in its pursuit, leaving destruction in its wake. The Guardians, guided by the traveler, formed alliances and fought back against the forces of darkness. Their battles were fierce and intense, but the Guardians' determination and the light's power allowed them to push back the Veil time and time again. Throughout their journey, the Guardians discovered fragments of the traveler's past and the civilizations it had uplifted. They learned of the tragedies that befell these worlds after the traveler's departure, and the devastating consequences of the darkness's influence. The Guardians understood the importance of their mission to protect the traveler and prevent the final shape from becoming a reality. As the Guardians defended the traveler, they also sought to uncover its true nature and purpose. Many theories were proposed, and ancient texts hinted at the traveler's role as a force of creation and balance in the universe. Some believed that the traveler was a catalyst for the evolution of life, while others saw it as a guardian against the encroachment of darkness. The traveler's presence on Earth continued to inspire hope and awe among humanity. Its magnificent structure loomed over the last city, a beacon of light in a world threatened by darkness. People flocked to the city, seeking refuge and a chance to be part of the Guardian ranks. But amidst the hope, there were also questions and doubts. The traveler remained silent, offering no guidance or explanation for its actions. Some wondered if the Traveler truly cared for humanity, or if it was merely using them as pawns in its eternal struggle against the darkness. Regardless of these uncertainties, the Guardians remained steadfast in their duty. They stood as the defenders of humanity, wielding the light and facing the darkness with unwavering resolve. The Traveler's origins might remain shrouded in mystery, but its presence and the Guardians' unwavering dedication gave humanity a fighting chance in the cosmic battle that raged on.